Welcome back to House of 1000 Haunts. I am Stevie Stone.
And I am Dwayne Stone.
We are Destination Stone on YouTube. And today we are covering a local haunt, a home haunt that I didn't know existed, but now I do. And now I've been. And I'm so excited. It was a haunt in Atlanta, Georgia, known as the Haunted Palace of Lindmoor Woods. And it is actually in the home of Professor Mortus, who runs the Silver Scream Spookshow.
It was very awesome, you guys. It was all mainly just a showcase of his artwork, really.
Oh my God.
And it was so good. It was so good. One of the best home haunts I've ever been to. Like, amazing.
All right, guys, before we get into that, you know, we like to let you know what we're drinking for the evening. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I have a raspberry peace tea. Pretty good. Very raspberry-y. Razzleberry.
I don't have anything. I'm out of drink.
Did you run out of drink? He did have a QT drink, but it ran out. We are headed to a Whataburger. That's exciting. All right, but like we said, guys, this was a home haunt, actually ran by Shane Morton, who runs the Silver Scream Spookshow out of Atlanta, Georgia. If you're not familiar with that, I will link that in the show notes and in the description below so you can check it out. Shane Morton is a local artist in Atlanta, Georgia, but I know him from a little punk rock band from back in the day from a wrestler named Lita. He used to be in a band called the Luchagors with Lita, and I love that band. It was so good. I'll put their Spotify link in the show notes below so you can listen to the music if you have never heard it yourself. But he also did other things.
He is also a special effects artist for TV and movies. He worked on the show called Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell for Adult Swim.
Yep.
And he also is the inventor, the person who came up with the Cheddar Goblin from Mandy, which a lot of people, that's all they know from that movie. And that's pretty wicked. Like, he's known for that. Like, that is his creation. So freaking awesome. We follow them on Instagram, and I just happened to see one of their posts, and it said something about them having a haunted house. And yeah. I told Stevie, I said, we should try to go do this.
I've always wanted to go see the Silver Scream Spookshow perform. I've wanted to go to the parade at Little Five Points in Atlanta. I've never got a chance to go, and I always seem to miss it. I need to plan next year to make sure we can go to the parade in Little Five Points. But I want to check out the Silver Scream Spookshow, and I didn't realize that Shane Morton and his lady have a home haunt that they created during the pandemic just to keep like the local kids and the community feeling good and having fun and something to do during Halloween, because the pandemic tried to kill Halloween, and you know what it did instead? It made Halloween bigger.
Right? I feel like since 2020, haunts have amped it up, and that's about the time that we started recording stuff, and we've been going to haunts as long as we've been able to do stuff like that.
I've been going to haunts since I was a wee.
Right, for a long time. And I really noticed that around that time, haunts, instead of dying off, bumped it up and turned into this amazing thing.
Because they found other ways to make it work. And
right. And this is no exception.
We pulled up and you just see this massive facade that he created. And it's so good. Just so good. Just a massive facade. You walk into the haunt, and it is just a showcase of his artwork. Before you walk in, though, you do grab a pair of 3D sunglasses.
Yes.
I almost forgot to mention that.
This is a very
neon based
black light. There we go.
Black light
heavy haunt.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. The 3D looked so good in the glasses.
Yeah.
I was just telling Stevie actually the other day that my favorite one of my favorite rooms in a haunt is usually the 3D room with all the
neon
and the black light. And this was almost the whole haunt. It was so good. Some of the stuff that he had in there, if you look up close, you would just be like, wow, this is so simple but so complex. It was great. It was very good. it shows you what you can do with a little bit of, just in creativity, because a lot of it was just boards, like plywood.
Yeah, it was a lot of plywood and just his art
and
on
his
it.
art on it.
Yeah.
But you know what? He had little things that were accentuating the art and made it
Yes,
more like
there was a lot of
actually
three-dimensional
pieces on it.
There were a few animatronics in there. There were a few children in there giving you some jump scares.
Really big
cool.
stuff in there. Like, for that to be a home haunt, he had massive, not really animatronics, but just characters, like big characters that were hanging and stuff.
There is a spot about halfway through where if you're too scared, you can exit to the left and go ahead and leave, or you can continue as it gets scarier. And one of my favorite parts, you turn the corner and it is just a hallway of standing coffins.
It was really cool. That was...
And it was just kind of lit a little bit with like red light, and then it did like a really sharp right turn.
To me,
so good.
Some of that stuff was the level of a haunt that you would pay to go in. Yeah, did we mention that this was free? We did not mention this was
a free haunt. It just takes donations.
Haunt.
And they also sell merch outside.
They were selling merch outside.
That was really cool. He was selling T-shirts of the poster from the haunt. If you haven't seen that video, I will have the video of our haunt walkthrough, because we did film it, of the haunt walkthrough, linked in the show notes below, so you can check that out. But he was selling T-shirts of the poster of the haunt. He was also selling T-shirts, of course, Dwayne Goblin.
Yeah.
He was also selling T-shirts of just his art. He was selling patches. We got 2 patches. I got a Silver Scream Spookshow patch, and Dwayne got a patch of his head. There was also a lot of photo op areas outside, specifically one with these crazy like tentacle arms you could grab, and it told you that, hey, grab the arms and it looks like it's like attacking you. It was so neat.
Really cool.
That was so much fun. Like, that is such an awesome, like, I wish I lived when I was little across from somebody that made spooky stuff like that. I would just sit in the front yard and stare at his yard all day.
Anyone that has a home haunt, I would recommend trying to catch when they do that and make the trek to Atlanta, because that right there was inspiration. That was so good. That was so good.
It was so awesome.
Man.
It was really awesome to see the Silver Scream Spookshow van sitting outside as well with the coffin on the top. We gotta check out the Silver Scream Spookshow when they do an actual show.
Yeah. There actually were haunt actors in there. It was mostly kids. I don't know if it was his kids or just kids from the neighborhood. His friends' kids. They were really good, though. There was one kid that was dragging like a shovel or something at the end, and he actually scared me. He come out like dragging
getting into it. Yeah,
did a good job. Everyone there did a great job.
Because the professor did give us a little intro and guided us into the haunt. That was really cool.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing us to film your little home haunt, because it's very inspiring. We love this. We love to share haunted houses, no matter how big or small, because we just love them, and we want haunts to go all year long. And guys, this one, only one weekend.
Yep,
it was literally Halloween Day and the next 2 days after that for Day of the Dead. That's it. Yeah, so thank you guys again for allowing us to film. Thank you for the awesome music playing. I knew there would be cool music playing.
Yeah.
Of course. It was so beautiful. It was cool to see all the decorations. I loved the little witch setup. I love the jack-o'-lanterns hanging in the tree.
Oh, the jack-o'-lantern tree, man. The Halloween tree was so good. It was like the Halloween tree from the movie. It was so good.
That's probably the longest we've ever driven for the shortest haunt, and it personally gave me the biggest outcome.
Yeah, I know Stevie really enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed it as well.
Girling a little bit, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I think my favorite part of the haunt was it was after we got out of the casket room and it went back to the blacklight stuff. There was this big face on the wall, and it had a mouth open, and the eyes were like open.
It was like 3-dimensional.
And it had, so it was a big
skulls on the wall on the side.
It was big made, like a
Bunch of tiny
three-dimensional thing. And coming out of the mouth and the eyes were a bunch of skulls. And it popped really good in the 3D glasses, just the way that he made it. And I almost wasn't sure what I was looking at, because when we walked through the second time, we didn't have the 3D glasses on. So I knew what I was looking at the second time. And I was like, man, that was great. That was my favorite part. That was my favorite thing of the whole thing. There was a bunch of little stuff like that was good, but that was the thing that I come around the corner and I was like, whoa, like it actually caught me off guard. Loved it.
That was amazing. Thank you guys again at the Silver Scream Spook Show for allowing us to film your little
See you guys soon.
We hope to see you guys again. And yeah, thank you so much. That's another haunt in the house, you guys.
Put it in the house.
Yeah, it's up in the house. So guys, if you want to check out the walkthrough that we did of that, I will have it linked in the show notes below. And guys, on that video, you can also see the first time Dwayne and I were in our own haunted house.
Yeah, we did our own home haunt with us.
With some friends.
And we was in that haunt.
We was spooking the peoples. So if you want to check that out, be sure to look at the link in the show notes below. Also, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and let us know what you thought of our podcast. It helps it continue to grow, and it helps let us know how you feel. Give us your takeaways of the show. I don't know where that came from. It was just in the sun. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on House 1000 Haunts. We love you guys. I am Stevie Stone.
And I am Dwayne Stone.
From Destination Stone on YouTube. And this is House of 1000 Haunts.